I developed a 3-rule formula to be more productive as a creative. I've been a professional videographer for 4 years, and this system has helped me exponentially increase my work output. Let's get right into rule 1. If you were to pull your phone out of your pocket right now and check your screen time, the chances are it's at least 3 to 4 hours. That's at least 21 to 28 hours per week that you could be using to work and get more done. I had this awakening a couple years ago and it completely changed my career. Therefore, rule 1 is don't keep social media apps on your phone. Now don't worry, you can still check your accounts every day. I'll talk about my process for this momentarily, but deleting social media off my phone has been the best thing I've done in my career. There are so many benefits to this, with the biggest one obviously being time saving. Countless times I would find myself sitting at my desk, scrolling on my phone when I should be doing work on my computer, or I would wake up and waste the first 20 minutes of my day in bed on Instagram, instead of seizing the day and getting right to work. Deleting these apps such as Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube off my phone drastically reduced my screen time throughout the day. It also has the added benefit of preserving your mental health and creativity. As you constantly scroll through Instagram or TikTok, you are consistently bombarded with high quality videos from your peers or people you look up to. While seeing these videos are great, over time, if it's all you see on your feed, I begin to compare my own work to theirs and become unsatisfied with what I'm making. Again, I love to check in on these videos, but constantly looking at them throughout the day is not healthy for me, and it's probably not healthy for you either. After just 1 week away from social media on my phone, I began to seek inspiration from other sources that I'm not used to, such as books, films, TV shows, even nature. I've just found that drawing sources of inspiration from other things besides social media videos has become so powerful for me. I felt myself become much less anxious and insecure about my own work, which again helps me be more productive and inspired to get to work every single day. However, obviously our jobs revolve around social media, so we need to stay active on them in some capacity. What I do is give myself 15 to 20 minutes in the mid-afternoon to check my Instagram for any important messages and scroll through my feed to keep up with what my friends are making. This intentional time during the day is great because it is not mindless scrolling. However, the key here is that I log into my Instagram on my computer. Again, I don't want the app on my phone, and I found that having it on my computer, I'm much less likely to just continuously mindlessly scroll. But overall, this process of deleting social media off my phone has been extremely impactful for me. Try it out for a few weeks. I know it sounds intimidating now, but I promise you, you will be more productive and create better work as a result. Now for rule 2. I know as a videographer that sometimes the last thing we want to do after a long shoot is sort through all the footage and pull selects. It's the most boring part of the process, and we always want to just get right into the edit. I used to put it off for days and dreaded having to do it. This severely affected my workflow and productivity, so I knew it had to change. To fix this, I implemented the second rule in my formula for productivity: sort through the footage immediately when you get home, no matter what. Whether it's midday or midnight, whether I got back from an 8-hour shoot 4 hours away or just down the street, I am pulling selects no matter what. What's great is that because it's menial, I allow myself to put on some headphones, put on a TV show or a movie, or listen to a podcast and just zone out and pull selects. Sorting through the footage on the same day is important for a couple reasons. First, the shoot is still fresh in my mind, so I'm much more efficient at sorting through the footage. I know pretty much every single shot, and I remember which ones I like and which ones the client liked as well. This makes for a much more efficient workflow than doing it days later and having to remember every single shot. Secondly, sorting that same night ensures that I will never lose footage. If I don't immediately offload my SD card and back up my footage onto a hard drive, there's a higher risk of me leaving my SD card in my camera and maybe accidentally formatting it on my next shoot. This has happened once or twice, but since I've implemented this rule into my life, I have not lost a single second of footage. And then finally, and most importantly, pulling selects at night has allowed me to protect my creative energy. If I were to pull selects for a few hours in the morning and then try to edit after that, I'll be a little burnt out. Waking up in the morning with a nice cup of coffee after breakfast with a fully organized timeline and all the selects pulled out is the best way to start an edit. I feel creatively energized and I'm ready to jump right into it instead of having to sort through it all. Pulling selects is a mindless activity, so I'm okay to do it while I'm tired. But because it makes me more tired, I don't want to do it before I have to be creative. If you're interested in seeing a full breakdown on my selects workflow, let me know. I have an entire process for organizing my footage by shoot, camera, day, game, everything. Subscribe and let me know if you want to see that video in the future. Let's get into rule 3. So I'm sure you've heard of the so-called flow state while editing. You've probably felt it yourself as well. This is where you're entirely immersed in your work for hours on end in a complete creative flow, maybe even forgetting to go eat or go to the bathroom. Everything's coming super easy to you and you have endless ideas for what to do with your edit. Your heart rate's probably up a little bit and you just feel creative. On the flip side, for most of the time, you're probably struggling to edit and have no ideas for what to do. The time takes by and you're struggling to piece together a 20-second segment. The flow state is the best and most productive state you can be in while editing. This is what I'm constantly seeking in my work. And in my opinion, the best way to achieve this is through something called deep work. I learned about this concept of deep work from a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. Essentially, this concept is just implementing long periods of uninterrupted work into your day. Therefore, rule 3 is schedule blocks of 3 or more hours of uninterrupted time for work. So instead of working for 30 minutes and then taking a break on your phone or going outside, just work for 3 hours straight with no breaks. It's important that you're in a distraction-free zone, so no phone, no social media, no email, ideally no other people around you as well. This time in uninterrupted environment allows your brain to get fully immersed in the work you're doing and enter that flow state. While it may be hard at first, if you're used to shorter spurts of time, I promise you after a couple weeks of practicing deep work, you'll become exponentially more productive. Personally, what works for me is waking up in the morning around 7:30, making breakfast, getting a cup of coffee, and then working from 8 to 12. Then I normally go work out, make some lunch, and work again from 1:30 to 4:30. Those first 4 hours in the day are my peak creative energy. So this is where I'm putting the most effort into my edit, maybe working on transitions. Just the most intense cognitive workload that you need should be done when you have the most energy. Then my second block of work in the afternoon could be more menial stuff like planning a shoot, responding to messages, and other stuff like that. However, you should do what works best for you. I know a lot of videographers love to work at night, and that's great. So if you want to schedule off a block of time from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., that's perfect. For me, what works best is doing it in the morning, but again, it is whatever is best for you. It all just really comes down to energy conservation. Save your energy for the time periods where you have the most creative energy and block those times off with no interruptions. So here's my 3-rule guidebook for a productive workflow. Rule 1, do not keep social media apps on your phone. Rule 2, sort through your footage immediately when you get home from a shoot, no matter what. Rule 3, schedule blocks of 3 or more hours of uninterrupted work time. These 3 rules changed my life, and I hope they help you change yours. If you want to be even more productive while editing, check out this video I made on editing shortcuts that you can do to edit lightning fast. Please consider subscribing and let me know if you like this kind of video. Thank you guys for watching.